What's going on, everybody? So today I've got this new computer. This is a Dell Dimension C521. I picked this up from a thrift store for just $20. This actually come out of the same junk store that my iMac G3 that I did in a previous video came from, and it was in the same messed up old shed. And the thing is, last time I went to this store was about a month ago, and this computer wasn't there, so it hasn't been there for long. So I'm not going to blame the condition of the inside of this computer on where it was stored at. I'm going to blame it on the home that it was at, you know, the home that it came from, because this thing hasn't been in this store long at all, in that old shed that they got in the back. Like I said, Dell Dimension C521. It says it has Windows XP. It says designed for Windows XP, Windows Vista compatible. Has an AMD Athlon 64. I wonder if I could jam a Athlon 64X2 in here, because I actually have one of those on standby. Up here it's got the activation code for Windows XP Media Center Edition 2005. I've never heard of that, but okay. So obviously this was intended as a media center computer. Up here it's got a DVD-ROM drive, two USB ports, sound ports, and the funny thing is I have never seen a slim form factor Dimension like. When I think of the Dell Dimension, I think of all those old big bulky computers, you know, the ones that came with Pentium 4 Prescotts as standard with 512 megs of RAM. This one has 512 megs of RAM, by the way, along with the Athlon 64. On the back, got some nice ports. There's the, get it in frame, obviously. There's the power, got all your sound ports, 4 USB ports, Ethernet, and a VGA display port, and down there at the bottom is a little modem. So, like I said, this computer, the inside of it is absolutely terrible condition. As you can see, it's pretty clean on the outside. It looks like it was in a good home, right? Well, let's open it up, because the inside of this thing is absolutely abysmal. It's just in a wow condition. I don't mean a good wow. I mean a absolutely terrible wow. So let me get my tripod here adjusted. So just look at the inside of this thing, at the dust absolutely everywhere. It's all up in the CPU heatsink there. As you can see, it's got the vent on the power supply completely clogged up. I don't know what it looks like under the CD drive. I haven't taken anything out of this thing yet. Definitely the first thing I'm going to do before I power it up for the first time is I'm going to take it out to the farm and use the air compressor, blow all this crap out, get it all cleaned up, and then we will plug it into the little monitor I got set up, and we're going to see how it runs. So I'm in my dad's shop here at this farm. I got the computer here. We're going to use our air compressor and try and blow the crap out of this thing. I mean, look at that. Look at all that, and it's all up on the side of the heat sink. The heat sink itself ain't got much in it, but I must shed some emphasis on that power supply. That's terrible. That's dangerous too, because if that dust blocks the air, the power supply can overheat and cause massive problems. Look how much cleaner that is already. Look at the you can't see it on camera. There's dust flying everywhere. Let's see what happens when I blow it through the back of this power supply. Oh crap, that was the fan. It's blowing that fan. I don't want to do that too much. Well, I might have to just one time. I don't know if you can hear it. Wait, right there. That's a way to mess up your fan right there. go. A nice clean computer, free of dust. At least for now, because my house is pretty dusty. I might have to bring this thing back in a month and blow it out. It's usually what I have to do with my gaming PC every once in a while. Bring it out here, take the air hose, blow that crap out. Perfect. So let's take this thing back to the house and hook it up to my monitor and see if it will actually start up. Alright, so I've got the computer hooked up to my monitor, and curiously enough, you know, usually whenever you plug in a PC, you know, it'll power on for a moment and then turn back off. This one didn't do that, so I'm hoping that the dust in it hasn't put a power supply failure on our hands. But anyways, I'm so desperate to use this thing. I don't have a spare keyboard and mouse around, so I'm using this little miniature keyboard and trackpad I got to use with my Raspberry Pi, but you know, it works. Let's go ahead and power this thing up. Just starting. There's the BIOS. Well, didn't have time to press it to actually get it working, but I mean actually open it. Windows XP. I don't know what it was talking about, that media center thing on the activation sticker. Seems to be running. It appears it has a CD in the drive. Here we go. Windows XP Media Center Edition. That's pretty curious. And looks like it has a password set, which is pretty good. Let's go ahead and try to click OK, and my mouse isn't moving. Apparently this thing doesn't like my wireless mouse and keyboard. That's not too good now, is it? Let's see here. Can I press enter? Nope. Oh, this... it has no password set. So all I had to do was press enter. Got a cursor. Oh. Alright, all this is working. So we got a cursor here. The desktop's loaded up. Now I will say this. Obviously this thing does not have a password set. And B Bishop PCM out on YouTube always makes this point. And I haven't come across a computer yet where I needed to make this point, but I'm going to make it now. Before you get rid of your computer, just either take the hard drive out or format it. That's, you know, because this is ridiculous. I was trying to connect to dial-up. That's pretty crazy. But anyways, format your hard drive, destroy it, take it out of your computer before you get rid of your computer. Because if I was, say, a hacker or somebody that wanted to get into somebody's personal information and had a motive to, it's all right here. I can literally pull all of it up. I guarantee you there's financial records or something on this thing. Whoever's computer this was obviously had a lot of programs, got Microsoft Office installed on here, all kinds of things. Like if I open up the documents, you know, see, it appears to be a lot of, see, home insurance right there, something right there, I don't know what that is, but obviously there's a lot of financial documents in there. And like I said, if I was a hacker, somebody that had a motive to get into this person's information, I have it all right here on their computer. Alright, so let's go ahead and apparently she had this program called People PC. I just noticed that. That was that little dial-up service it was trying to connect to. Check that out. The modem for or other connecting device, whatever, I don't know. But it's obviously trying to connect to something, so this person must have had dial-up on their computer. What is this? People PC Online. I've never heard of that. And look at that. Her dial-up username and password is all right there. That is not good. Like I said, personal information. Literally, all of this person's things are literally right here on this computer. Like, it's just like B Bishop PCM says all the time. I cannot stress enough the importance of, you know, protecting your files and Whenever you get rid of a computer, get your things off of it however you need to. You know, format the hard drive, take it out, destroy it, I don't care. But it's obviously a very bad thing that can happen. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent here now. We're going to restart this thing and see if I can open up the BIOS here. Oh, somebody has actually updated the BIOS on this thing. That's pretty good. It's got the one from 2006, which is the latest version you can get on these older Dell computers. It looks like the very same BIOS one of my old Dimension 8300s used to have on it. Or yeah, I think it was a 8300 or 8400. It was a pretty high-end Dimension. AMD Athlon 64 processor, 3200, 2 gigahertz, 512 kilobytes L2 cache. It's 64-bit, obviously. 512 megs of RAM here. I believe this thing has integrated graphics. That's how the graphics are working. But I got a little third-party graphics card I might slip in here just to try out. Well, look at that. This thing has actually kept the time. It's got the exact date and time on here, still working correctly. So obviously the computer wasn't in the store at all. So it just came down, this thing wasn't taken care of very great throughout its life. Let's see here. I wonder how big. It's a 160 gig drive from what I can see in the hard drive's model number there. That's a good thing to remember. Well, if it'll focus. That's a good thing to remember with those Seagate drives. Usually their model number has the number of gigabytes right there. As you can tell, this is a 160 gigabyte card. Hard drive. And there's the video options right there. Obviously it's got the onboard video memory size. We'll go ahead and bump that up a little bit. 128 megs. Performance, security, blah blah blah, power management, cool and quiet. Oh, that's the AMD cool and quiet technology. That's pretty much about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get a distro of Ubuntu running on here, just see how it does. And maybe I can actually use this computer for something, I don't know. But as for now, this is just the video. Thank you for watching. As always, subscribe to my channel, like my videos, comment, do whatever you want to. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.